Welcome to the Allen Americans podcast. Tommy Daniels, along with the head coach of the Allen Americans, Steve Martinson. Marty, the latest signing, Ben Carroll. I know a lot of people are excited about that. You talked about him in your quote that you put in our press release about being a great character guy and great at both ends of the ice.
Yeah, he's just one of those guys that does everything really well. He defends, he skates well, he carries the puck. He had the 2 assists in the 2 games, but he jumps up in the play and he can play our style of play. And, he hits and he's strong on the puck. We're going to have some really good rookies this year, and it'll help us on the salary cap if we have to sign any expensive veterans that are still hanging around.
I know we had a really good rookie last year. In Tyler Sheehy. Also, Wes Lancaster was unbelievable. Compare Carroll. Can he put up numbers comparable to what Les did last year?
Well, I think, in college he proved that he could put up numbers, and he did it a little bit in junior too. We're just going to have a lot of offensive depth too, because, we've got some pretty good guys signed with Iowa, depending on which guys we get from there. We got some pretty good guys still on our protected list. And, he can put up numbers. And like I said, he plays our style. He can jump up in the play and be that fourth forward, but, he can also defend.
And the last couple of years, you've had these guys come in at the end of the year that you brought back to Allen the next year. I know you only had him for a couple of games last year, but, just taking a look at his game and just a few, what did you like?
Well, that's what I mean. I liked everything. He just was a really solid defenseman. And, all the top teams in the league, Cincinnati was trying to get him. Florida was trying to get him. All the top teams in the league were trying to get him. And we had some history with some guys from his school, and he knew some of the guys from the West on our team. So, we were able to be the team that signed him. And, like I said, he's just a really good all-around defenseman. And he's one of those guys that, you're never going to see him do. Sometimes we'd see our big 6'7" Russian come up with some scary plays and then come up with some magnificent plays. And he's a little steadier than that. You're probably not going to see, as much as the end-to-end rush, as you'll just see, he'll be one of those guys that you don't notice because he makes a lot of mistakes.
It's reputation is a big thing for guys when you're trying to find a place to play. And I talked to Nolan Need the other day, and he was telling me that, he talked to Jordan Topping, and Topping said nothing but great things about Allen playing here. So that's one of the keys, right? You get these guys they'll tell these players, hey, look, you want to go play in Allen, not only are you going to have a chance to win a championship pretty much every year, but also the conditions, the great living conditions here in DFW, a new area, a great selling point, isn't it?
Yeah, well, what's not to like in North Dallas, when I saw the Nick Nolte movie, North Dallas 40, I never knew I'd be living in North Dallas. But it's a nice area to play. And then, the style that we play attracts a lot of players too. We like to get after it, and we don't want to sit back. And, I think we play a pretty skilled game, but, we try to play an in-your-face and hard-working game. And we're always trying to get better defensively. So I think the whole package is something that attracts players. The way we play, the camaraderie that they get from having played. It's a big difference playing with a bunch of good guys. And, we found that out the hard way a few years ago when a lot of our good guys got hurt, and then, they're not leading the locker room, and then the certain areas, gets led astray. So it's really important to have, quality players, and they attract other quality players. I always say good guys attract good guys, and bad guys attract bad guys. So we've got a lot to offer players.
Hey, let's be honest. You've been in some of the greatest recruiting places in minor league hockey. I'll start with San Diego. That had to have been a real easy place to get guys to come play. And I remember you telling me about, didn't you have a place on the beach there when you were coaching?
I actually had a place before. It wasn't really right on the beach. It's called a court, but it's less than 100 yards. It's about 50 yards from the beach. I was probably about 30 yards from the boardwalk. So it's close enough. But yeah, the quality of life was great there, and players, the one thing that you have to watch though is, is, you know, you want to make sure players are coming for the right reason. So you're not really recruiting them that, hey, come to San Diego and, you know, and golf and enjoy the, you know, everything it has to offer and then play some hockey. It's, you know, if you're a good hockey player, you get to, you know, you get to enjoy, you know, everything that the city has to offer. And it is, you know, I mean, you know, when you have places like Allen, same thing. And it's different than when I was in Elmira, New York, and, you know, you're recruiting on a whole different level. And, you know, one of the biggest things this year is going to be, I don't see the American League signing as many players as they have in the past. So that could change once everything gets, you know, once they get moving. But I think there's going to be a lot of opportunity for free agents this year too. So it'll be interesting to see how everything shakes out once we get going.
Last but not least, Stanley Cup playoffs have been unbelievable. The Dallas-Colorado game the other night was just crazy. They get out to a 5-0 lead. Stars can wrap it up tonight. You had two teams last night they could have closed it out, both the Islanders and Vegas. Neither one could do it. Are we looking at long series here for the remaining teams?
Well, you know, obviously, you know, I mean, it would be tremendous for Dallas to have Dallas, you know, get back a Stanley Cup. So it's, you know, we got to be pulling for Dallas, number one. I think Vegas is a really entertaining team to watch, and they're going to be tough to beat. And then out east, you got, you know, Tampa Bay. You know, they've got some injuries, so it's still up for grabs. But obviously Dallas is, you know, they save their best hockey for when it really means something.
As always, Marty, thanks for doing this. Safe travels on your way back to Texas.
You too, Tommy. See you soon.
Thank you.